In a fight card that's set to take place on Saturday, January 24th, the IBF lightweight title will be on the line. And there are fighters participating in this show that many people who love the sport of boxing will find great interest in. And that'll be when titleist Ray Muratalla takes on Andy Cruz. This is a competitive bout. It's a bout that should be taking place. And many people feel that it could be an upset, meaning Cruz taking the title away from Muratalla, or it could be Muratalla stating his claim as the world champion in the division and in this fight. Let's talk about this matchup and what we can expect, and mention the card, a little bit about what's going down on the night of. Saturday, January 24th, we're going to see Muratalla versus Cruz, the IBF lightweight title in Las Vegas. I like this fight because it's two of the top guys in the division facing one another. I don't know that they are the best, but a match like this will get us closer to defining who is the best at the division. You see, Shakur Stevenson is moving up to face Teofimo Lopez at the end of this month, and we just don't know how that's going to play out. And Stevenson has mentioned that he's going to come back to this division where he has the WBC title. But listen, we'll have to find out, because you can plan all you want, but until you go through what's needed and necessary, it just won't be defined. Let's take a look at these two men, Muratalla and Cruz. The tail of the tape has Muratalla listed at 29 years of age. He's 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. Now, he has a record of 23 wins, 0 losses, and 17 KOs. He is ready to have a breakout performance. His nickname, Danger. Trained by Robert Garcia out of the Garcia Boxing Academy. He really needs to state his claim in the sport. And we're going to find out whether or not he's able to deliver. I'm not so certain that he is going to be able to do what he wants to do, but we're going to have to see what happens. Now, when we look at it, these two men, as they face one another, are going to bring the best of what one another has to the game. And when I look at Andy Cruz, who's 30 years of age, a former standout Olympian, and a fighter that is primed and ready to take everything away from Muratalla, he is a fighter that is not so heavy in the professional ranks of fights fought, but he has a great deal of excitement that he brings because of his Cuban schooled boxing style. He has a record of 6 wins and 0 losses. The KO ratio doesn't really equate with what he is presenting in the ring because Muratalla is a sizable lightweight, but Cruz has shown just in his last couple of fights that he can bring it, and he is expected to bring something to Muratalla that Tevin Farmer was not necessarily able to present to him when they faced each other back in July of 2024. And what that is the ability to break a fighter down and know what his strengths and weaknesses are and capitalize on taking that away from him. You see, once Cruz gets Muratalla's style figured out, he's going to attack him in a way that he hasn't been attacked before. And trained by Boziet in this, he's going to come in with an aggression that's a bit different than anyone else he's faced at this juncture of his career. And don't forget about the intimidation factor. There may be somewhat of a sense of intimidation for Muratalla knowing Cruz's background. He is the smaller man physically, but he's the bigger man in world accomplishments. And it makes a difference with the experience that he brings to the ring. I really like what we're going to see from this man. I like what he presents, and I do believe he's going to make Muratalla fight. You see, Muratalla has been accustomed to using power and strength, but in this fight, he's going to have to use ingenuity, boxing know-how, ring generalship, and ring IQ. Will he be able to do that? We're going to find out. And I'll tell you something else. The thing with Cruz is you're not going to outbox him, so you're going to have to try to knock him out. And Cruz may not be there for that assignment. He will face Muratalla and try to put him in trick-bag circumstances. And that's where he'll have advantages. But if Raymond is able to weather the storm and box, if Garcia sends him out there to box, not to try to outbox, but to box to set up his strengths, which are power punches, then he may have a chance in this. But I don't know that that's going to be the case. I think they're going to try to use physicality. It'll be interesting to know what, after the weigh-in, Muratalla rehydrates to, because his frame is a lot larger than Cruz's. But again, it's not the size of the fighter, it's the size of the fight in the fighter. And we're going to find that out when these two men face off. Now, on the undercard, there are some interesting bouts, just as we will see light heavyweights Khalil Cole taking on Jesse Hart for the WBC USA light heavyweight title. That's an interesting fight. Whom we haven't seen on the scene in quite a while is going to come in there against Cole, And Cole is going to try to make a name for himself in this bout. Hart was last in the ring back in April of 2024 when he took on Daniel Aduku. And in that fight, he had a 5th round stoppage in a scheduled 8-round match. That's a good opportunity for Khalil Cole because Hart brings a record of 31 wins, 3 losses, and 25 KOs. And that will be paired up against Khalil Cole's 10 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, and featuring 8 KOs on Cole's record. You see, in the 1 loss that he had against Manuel Gallegos back in November of 2024, where he was stopped in 9 rounds, he immediately avenged that fight in a rematch where they faced one another again in May of 2025, and Cole stopped Gallegos in 6 rounds in a fight where he was very aggressive and took the fight to Gallegos very early, had him hurt often, and ended up stopping him brutally, actually. So this is going to be a great matchup between the two. How will they measure up against one another? We see that Cole is coming in 29 years of age. Hart is 36. Cole is 5'10". Hart is 6'3". So will he be able to get inside that reach and height advantage that Hart is bringing? All he has to do is apply the pressure. The 36-year-old legs may not be up for a daunting 10-round fight. So he's going to have to really press the guy. But Hart has the experience and Cole has been stopped. So this one is a pick'em because you don't know the measure of the motivation of either man. And that's where you're going to see the fight really take off, because when you find out who really wants it, that's going to surge to the forefront, and therefore will be the opportunity for one to be victorious. Also on the card will be the return of Israel Madrimov as he takes on Luis David Salazar. Hopefully this fight will go through in it's going to be a scheduled 10-rounder at middleweight. So Madrimov is moving up to middleweight. Will he be successful? It remains to be seen. But these are fights on a card coming this Saturday. On Dazn, the fights will be broadcast, and I expect it to be quite entertaining. Overall, I'm rolling with Andy Cruz. This is going to be an opportunity for him to break out. But don't be surprised due to the size of Muratalla and having a size and strength advantage. If Cruz can't deal with that, there will be the edge for Muratalla. But I still would like to see Cruz win a world title. He's a very much accomplished fighter of the Lomachenko school, as they like to note fighters who have accomplished things in an amateur career and transition to pro. So why not acknowledge the men of color as they do it as well? What do you think? This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about these guys and as they come into this matchup. Leave comments and let's discuss further. Do you think that Cruz has the opportunity to pull out this victory? Or will Muratalla finally assert himself and show himself to be a class title-holding champion? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.